June 6, 2023. Patricia, will you poll the board?
Trustee Burrows? Here. Trustee Griffith?
Here.
Trustee Boone?
Present.
Mayor Hobbs?
Here. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Trustee Griffith?
Good, okay. Presentation of activities reports by the public bodies of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. All the reports are available on our website for the public to review. Number 4. Clerk wishes to report that Mayor Hobbs and Deputy Mayor Daniels have approved miscellaneous business license as reviewed. 4. Justice Court, report of the village justice for the month of April 2023. Total number of cases before the court, 4,207. Total monies remitted to village controller, $372,689 with 50 cents. Copy of this report is on file in the village clerk's office and may be viewed by the public during office hours.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, I forgot to announce that if you want to address the board, there are forms in the back. Please fill out the form and turn it in before we get to the end of our business portion, and then we'll have our public participation. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolved that upon recommendation of Jacqueline Sword, Deputy Village Attorney, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the settlement of tax surrogatory matter with Stephen Goldstein and Sarah Goldstein for the property known as 209 Washington Street, Hempstead, New York, in a total of $1,300 for the tax years 2021-22 through 2022-23.
Move. Second.
Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Moving on to item number 7, resolved that upon recommendation on Jacqueline Sword, Deputy Village Attorney, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the settlement of tax surrogatory matter with 236 Fulton LLC for the property known as 236-244 Fulton Avenue, Hempstead, New York, in a total of $160,000 for the tax years 2016-17 through 2022-23.
Move. Second.
Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Jacqueline Sword, Deputy Village Attorney, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the settlement of tax surrogatory matter with 330 Washington Street LLC, known as 330 Washington LLC, for the property known as 330 Washington Street, Hempstead, New York, in a total of $14,000 for the tax years 2016-17 through 2022-23.
Move. Second.
Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Whereas Nassau County Land Bank Corporation, owner of the premises located at and known as 147 Harbor Street, Section 34, Block 247, Lots 399-400, Line C, situated within the Incorporated Village of Hempstead, rehabilitated said premises with the intent to market to a qualified low-income single-family buyer. And whereas 147 Harbor Street has village-owned tax liens in the amount of $134,413.12, and the cost of rehabilitation exceeds the proposed estimated sale price of the premises. And whereas the mayor and trustees desire that said premises be rehabilitated and returned to the tax roll. And now therefore be resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hempstead that delinquent tax liens are hereby waived.
Move.
Okay, who moved? Trustee Boone? Second?
Second.
Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Whereas Nassau County Land Bank Corporation, the property owner of the premises located at and known as 40 Cruchan Avenue, 40 Crescent Avenue, Section 34, Block 366, lots 146, 148, lying situated within the incorporated village of Hempstead, rehabilitated said premises with the intent to market to a qualified low-income single-family buyer. And whereas 40 Cruikshank Avenue has village-owned tax liens in the amount of $240,809.56, and the cost of rehabilitation exceeds the proposed estimated sale price of the premises. And whereas the mayor and trustees desire that said premises be rehabilitated and returned to the tax roll, and now therefore be resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hempstead that delinquent tax liens are hereby waived.
Move.
Second.
Trustee Borrow?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Keisha Marshall, Village Attorney, the Mayor and Board of Trustees hereby approves to enter into an agreement with New York City Department of Finance, 30-Start Avenue, Long Island City, New York, 11101, to utilize the Village of Hempstead Police Department outdoor fire range commencing January 1st, 2024, and expiring on December 31st, 2028.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Joe Gill, Village Treasurer, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the bond resolution authorizing the issuance of bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $7 million to finance the construction of improvements to various roads in the village, stating the estimated maximum cost thereof is $7 million and appropriating said amount for such purpose.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Keisha Marshall, Village Attorney, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the proposed water and sewer improvements for the downtown overlay zone and select the water treatment plant upgrades and declare intent for lead agency and classify project as an unlisted action. Now therefore be resolved that the Village Board of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead classifies the project as an unlisted action pursuant to standards in the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. And be it further resolved that it is the intention of the Village Board of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead to declare itself as lead agency for SECRA, coordinated review of this action. And be it further resolved that the Village Board of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead hereby directs the coordination of intent for lead agency designation with all involved agency for the project through the service of a notice of intent, indicating that the Village Board of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead seeks to be designated as lead agency for this action.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Larry Lutz, purchasing agent, and Steve Giardino, supervisor of water plant operations, that bid number 1, HEMV 2023-2024, furnish and deliver 10 pounds of granular sodium hexametaphosphate in 50-pound bags, 2 separated deliveries when needed, in the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Be awarded to the lowest bidder, Kembright Inc., 5202 Bellwood Court, Suite 104, Woodford, Georgia, 30518, in the amount of $23,900.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Larry Lutz, purchasing agent, and Steve Giardino, supervisor of water plant operations, that bid number 2, HEMV 2023-2024, furnish and deliver 45,000 gallons liquid caustic soda, 50% membrane grade, in the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Be awarded to the lowest bidder, Univar Solutions, 200 Dean Seavers Blades, Morrisville, Pennsylvania, 19067, in the amount of $188,460.
Move. Second.
Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Larry Lutz, purchasing agent, and Steve Giardino, supervisor of water plant operations, that bid number 3, HEMV 2023-2024, furnish and deliver 45,000 gallons of sodium hypochlorite, 50% liquid bleach, in the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Be awarded to the lowest bidder, Twin County Swimming Pool, 797 Conklin Street, Farmingdale, New York, 11735, in the amount of $122,850.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows,
Yes.
Trustee Griffith,
Yes.
Trustee Boone,
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs.
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Larry Lutz, purchasing agent, Frank Germinaro, Director of Public Works, and Vision Farhani, Engineer, that bid number 9, HEMV 2023-2024, 2023 requirement and specification for repair and/or replacement of water mains and bulbs on various streets in the incorporated village of Hempstead be awarded to the lowest bidder. Orchid Sewer and Water Contracting Corporation, 11 Dennis Street, Garden City, New York, 11040, the amount of $309,700.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows,
Yes.
Trustee Griffith,
Yes.
Trustee Boone,
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs.
Yes.
Clerk wishes to report that Mayor and the Board of Trustees have reviewed the recommendations made at the Traffic Safety Board meeting held on May 22nd, 2023.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows,
Yes.
Trustee Griffith,
Yes.
Trustee Boone,
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs.
Yes.
Clerk offers the following resolution that authorization be granted for Anita Rate, Village of Hempstead Public Working Employee, to receive supplemental sick leave at half pay in accordance with Village Policy Article 7, Section 5 of the CSEA Bargaining Agreement.
Move.
Second.
Trustee Borrows,
Yes.
Trustee Griffith,
Yes.
Trustee Boone,
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs.
Yes.
Clerk's office the following resolution that the provisions of local law number 1, 1980, entitled Residency Requirements for certain village employees are hereby waived for the following employee due to the special requirements needed to fill the position of lifeguard 1 seasonal for the incorporated village of Hempstead.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Clerk offers the following resolution that the provisions of local law number 1, 1980, entitled Residency Requirements for certain village employees are hereby waived for the following employee due to the special requirements needed to fill the position of automotive services part-time for the incorporated village of Hempstead.
Move.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Mayor Hobbs, the Board of Trustees hereby approve the following for seasonal employees as reviewed.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Keisha Marshall, Village Attorney, the appointment of Jennifer L. Martin as Special Prosecutor for the Incorporated Village of Hempstead at a fee of $40 per hour per diem from June 7, 2023 to April 7, 2025.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Frank Germinaro, Director of Public Works, the mayor hereby have appointed and have approved the following to the position of automotive services part-time for the incorporated village of Hempstead. Tyrell Williams, new hire, DPW garage, automotive services part-time, $18 an hour upon approval.
Move.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Richard Holland, Assistant Chief, the Police, the mayor hereby have appointed or approved the following to the position of police officer for the incorporated village of Hempstead. Tyler Stein, new hire, police officer, $60,566 a year upon approval, be ratified.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Richard Holland, Assistant Chief of Police, the mayor hereby have appointed or approved the following to the position of police officer for the incorporated village of Hempstead. Georgia Gantidis, new hire, police officer. The salary is $60,566 a year. Upon approval, be ratified.
Move. Second.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes. All right, at this time, again, if you want to address the board, please bring up your form now because we're ending our business portion where we will not take any more forms.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Joe Gill, Village Treasurer, all meeting bills ordered by the Board of Trustees on check warrant dated June 6, 2023, be approved as previously reviewed.
Move. Second.
Trustee Burrows.
Yes.
Trustee Griffith.
Yes.
Trustee Boone.
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs.
Yes. Okay, all right, at this time, we're going to prepare for our public participation portion of our meeting. When you come up to address the board, you have 3 minutes to ask your questions or make your statement. You won't be interrupted. After your 3 minutes, then the board will try to address your questions or concerns to the best of our ability. Jonathan Griffin? Gaffin?
Good evening, Your Honor, trustees.
Good evening.
My name is Jonathan Gaffney. I'm the executive director of the Nassau County Land Bank. The goal of the land bank is to take some of the tax levy properties, blighted land. The current roster that the Nassau County Land Bank has currently happened through the county attorney's office and the attorney general's office during the Land Bank Act, which was a settlement in 2017 to invest in communities. So thank you for considering the tax liens on the 2 brand-new homes that are currently being built within your village. We have 1 more parcel of land that we are going to do some work on and then sell it for affordable housing. Now, affordable housing is going according to HUD guidelines, so I just wanted to publicly acknowledge that. All right.
Thank you so much, and we
Thank you.
look forward to seeing some new homeowners get into those homes. Reginald Benjamin.
Good evening, Mayor, trustee.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am here to talk about the downtown development. I have to say, Mayor, that I was totally disappointed with this newsletter that was put out.
Which newsletter?
This newsletter,
That's fake news.
to me, it was misrepresenting a lot of facts. One of the things I've been involved with, Mayor, for a long time is the affordable housing development. I was a part of Twin Oaks. And I made sure that once they built those houses, that the people that live in this community had first access. We did South Franklin Street. There's so many people that were sleeping on the floors and sleeping in their mother's houses was able to get into those affordable housing. The reason why I bring that up is because I'm hearing about protests about the Common Avenue process, which are affordable housing. And I have been working with the CDC, I have been working with Conifer the Chase, Conifer Realty, and the developers to ensure that not only do we have an opportunity to get jobs and work on that, but to make sure that this affordable housing piece is in place, as well as to the Estelling housing. I don't care what no one says, gentrification can't occur if we have affordable housing right here in the village of Hempstead. And that's what those houses are there to do. One of the things that I get criticized a lot for is because what I do is take the young men and women out of the neighborhood who have no experience and no training, give them training, and get them entry-level opportunities to work on these projects. I have been doing that right now. Conifer Chase has agreed to do that. The Stella Housing has agreed to do that. In fact, one of our local contractors is already working over there. And also, I don't know if you was here last week, you remember the 2 gentlemen that came, the contractor that came and spoke before you guys? Those are guys that were formerly from the village of Hempstead that left. But because of the development that's coming to pass, they're coming back. They are working with us to help get a lot of people trained and prepared to go to work. So again, I get criticized because I take people that have no experience, try to give them experience, and give them entry-level jobs. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about, and I support this development process, I want to tell you that now, and I'll say that before anybody, anywhere I go, and I always have been out front with that. And I appreciate you, Mayor, because going back to 2012, you have been helping me get people placed on those jobs. That's long before you was the mayor, and I appreciate that. What I'm concerned about right now is we have yet, to be honest with you, I'm hoping I get the job at Small Business Referral Center because I got 1,200 people already prepared for that. But even if I don't, I'm trying to find out why haven't we put the contracting center in place and the job and Small Business Referral Center in place? That is my question.
All right. So as far as the construction development that's taking place in the downtown, we're excited about it. I wouldn't get too caught up in reading that paper, you know, because it sends conflicting messages. I would say to you that I know that they're going to put out a RFP for that workforce development, and so once that's out, everyone will have an opportunity to apply for it.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the misinformation too, because we need housing here. You heard the. I'm sorry.
Thank you. All right. Renee Bethany.
Good evening, Mayor Hobbs and Board. I want to ask Mayor Hobbs specifically if you still stand by the statements you made in the Newsday article of April 11th concerning the mural being covered up, which are, first of all, that you instructed Public Works to make sure it was undamaged, and that the wall in front of it is not touching it. Also, that you're interested in preserving history and open to hearing about a way to try and keep the mural and make it available while still moving forward with what you consider modernization. Do you still stand by those statements? That's all I'm asking.
You have 3 minutes. Is that
It-
all your questions?
That, and then I want to thank the police for something.
Well, thank them now. Could use your 3 minutes.
So you're not going to answer me, are you?
So I stated earlier before you got up, you have 3 minutes to make a statement, ask your questions. We won't interrupt you. After your 3 minutes is over, then we'll answer your questions to the best of our ability. So finish whatever questions you have within your allotted time.
Okay, this is not a question. This is 6 gunshots fired outside my house on Sunday morning. And the reason I want to thank the police is I had gotten up to use the necessary, and I lay down and I heard pop, 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 pop. I'm at the corner of William Street and McDonald. And after a couple of seconds, I got up and carefully looked out because I had heard a car drive off, and it was very, very quiet. And I sat back down thinking, maybe I better call the police right now. So I got up and looked out, and there were already 4 squad cars. And this is in less than a minute that they responded. So I'm not asking about the results of that right now, but I just want to say, obviously the system is very efficient there. So thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So that's it? Your
Yes,
question? Okay, all right. I stick by my statement. I wouldn't have said it if I wasn't going to stick by it. You're the historian for the village, right? Village historian, is that your title?
Yep.
Okay, so as we talk about history, I know that you had an opportunity to write a book about the village history, and I'm hoping moving forward as we talk about history, and especially the village history, that we are more inclusive of some of the contributions that African Americans and others have made to this village. So yes, I believe in preserving history. Just let's make sure we tell the whole story. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. I
Okay.
did a lot to do that, by the way.
Catherine Gary.
Good evening. I have a number of questions this evening. My first question is Don Monte still alive? And if so, why didn't he sign the partial release that you and the CDA filed in Mineola with respect to the release of the master developer agreement of the Common Place project and parcels, as well as the release from any liability and defaults that may be connected with the Carmen Place project and parcels? In other words, has Don Monte agreed with this release, and if so, why didn't he sign it? And if he did not, and if he is not in agreement with it, how can the release be valid without his signature when RDUA, the Renaissance Project, is a party to the Master Developer Agreement, along with you and the CDA? So that's question one. Question two. Secondly, how can you and the CDA release these parcels from the MDA when these parcels were made part of the project area via a public hearing that included all the parcels located on the project area map? The map and the parcels on the map are essential terms of the Master Developer Agreement. Since a public hearing was required to include these parcels in the project area, surely a public hearing is required to exclude those parcels from that same area map. So the question in question two is, why didn't you have a public hearing before you issued the release? Question three is, who is Ryan Porter? And why is he shown to be the owner of RDUA, which is Renaissance, on a building permit application signed for the Carmen Place project? And why has his name never been mentioned in connection with the Master Developer Agreement or with any of these projects? When did he become part of RDUA? And is he a co-CEO? And is Renaissance RDUA in some way connected with Renaissance Downtown USA? Those are my three questions.
Thank you.
Would you like a copy?
I have a copy.
Oh, you have it.
I would like to, I'll turn it over to the village attorney.
I would like the mayor to answer these questions, please. Well, I asked. Excuse me, the reason I would like,
So is,
the reason,
listen, Ms. Gary, I'm going to allow the village attorney to answer these questions. Now, the first question, I'm not even going to ask her to answer, is Don Monte alive? I'm not working my funeral director's position at this time, so I couldn't tell you if he's alive or dead.
have you spoken to him?
I could speak to you now, and you could drop dead a second later. How do I know if he's alive?
Well, you know that was a rhetorical question. I believe you're smart enough to know that.
Right, so you don't expect the answer to that.
I wanted to know if he agreed with the release, and if he didn't, how can the release have any credibility when he is part of the Master Developer Agreement if he didn't agree to release it? That's the question.
Does the release have a signature on it?
It does not.
Right, so it's an agreement with the village and Common Place that the village will not hold Common Place to the Master Development Agreement, but that they will comply with the village zoning codes, section 139, all of the zoning codes.
Yes, I understand about the zoning code.
Right, so that's what that is. That's all that says.
But how can the village release something
Because
that,
the village can agree that it will not enforce the Master Development Agreement as it relates to Common Place, but that the Common Place must comply with the village zoning codes. Your second question.
that's not what it said. Okay.
A resolution by the board is sufficient to agree that Common Place can proceed in compliance with the zoning codes of the village, and that the village will not enforce certain aspects of the Master Development Agreement as against Common Place. We're not doing away with the agreement. They not do away with the agreement, we don't need a public hearing for that. It was passed by the board, a resolution was presented, it was passed by the board.
The resolution states that this parcel is no longer part of the master developer agreement, and the master developer agreement is signed by Renaissance.
Ms. Gary, if you read the entire release.
I did.
It's more than just that. So please don't pick out which parts you think you need and ignore the rest.
I read the whole thing.
I don't know who Ryan Porter is. And
You
I
don't
said
know
it-
Ryan?
I have no idea who Ryan Porter is. I don't know if he has a part in RWA. I don't know if he owns, lives at, visits, or I have no idea who Ryan Porter is. And I will never represent who he is.
Well, his website includes Hempstead Project,
I have no idea who he is.
but you've never heard of him. Okay, thank you.
Aubrey Muhammad.
Yes. Peace in the name of Allah. I'm Aubrey Muhammad. I pray that everyone is well. This is in regards to Sands Casino that's planned for the Uniondale Hub. It is disturbing that one of your trustees spoke of the deceptive Sands Casino at the legislative meeting last month. He spoke in favor and support of a deceptive organization. He claimed to speak for himself.
And I did.
We understand that that is as legitimate as Sands lying at that same legislative meeting, praising they would not seek pilots and tax breaks. 2 weeks ago, tax breaks and pilots. I spoke in opposition to it because it is immoral. And that's the way developers are, corporations. They're just Decepticons. You hit a button, they whack back into something else, claiming to be good. And I think you should condemn his support of that massive deception. They brought out the carnival, they brought out the fanfare, they brought out all the supporting organizations, the NAACP, amongst others. The former Lieutenant Governor, David Patterson, sat in that meeting while that Sands took up the whole side of the legislative audience and built up this carnival atmosphere that's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to cost you a dime. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all beneficial to you. And they would handle the immoralness through a police state with all the extra police and security. That is absurd. That is immoral and misdevelopment as much as this master development agreement. And to Reginald Benjamin, your construction jobs are only temporarily. Once they start with commonplace or so-called affordable housing, they're doing tricks and trades now. That was purchased land, that was gifted land, sold to them. That should be taken back. Commonplace is one affordable housing apartment complex amongst 16 more planned luxury that will be far out of reach. And the clientele, the tenants there will be very at home at a Sands casino complex with celebrity chef restaurants and all higher end amenities, all subsidized by a dying middle class who the oligarchs and plutocrats and corporatists you keep gatekeeping for. Stop this misdevelopment.
Thank you. Your time is up. So I will never condemn any trustee for their opinion. This is a democracy. Each individual has the right to stand on what they believe. This is not a dictatorship as much as you claim it is, because it's funny how when the trustee agrees with me, it's a dictatorship. But when they stand on their own, I'm supposed to condemn them? Nonsense. He has a right, and every trustee have a right to stand on their own opinion. Secondly, listen, I let you speak?
Okay.
Okay. Secondly, when we talk about the downtown development, and you know, you're on the same page of confusion, where you cry that we need to do something to keep our residents in the village of Hempstead. Let's not gentrify Hempstead. We propose affordable apartment building, and Miss Gary, you talk about following your
She's a good friend. She's a good
master,
friend of mine. She's a good friend of mine.
your good friend master says
She's a
that
sister. She's a good
says
sister.
that we should not build affordable or low income in Hempstead. Send it to Garden City.
That's right.
So I'm
Yes,
confused.
I agree with that.
So we don't
Absolutely.
listen.
I agree with
So
that.
you don't want us to put market rate, and you don't want us to put low income. You don't want us to do nothing, and that's your plan, and it's not going to happen that way.
Stop the revitalization.
Thank you.
And
You may be
agriculture.
seated. Thank you,
Stop, Mr.
Miss Christine Bush.
Hello, Mayor Hobbs and trustee.
Hello.
I got a couple of things that I want to speak about within my 3 minutes. I'm going to start with the last thing that I wrote on my note, Henry Street. I travel on Henry Street and Albemarle Street every day. And at the corner of Albemarle, where the end of the school district is, there's nothing but a bunch of people hanging out there drinking first thing in the morning. If possible, can we get the police to just go over there and tell them, you gotta go over to Kennedy Park or someplace else? It's not appropriate for the young children that are going to school. Now, I've lived in Hempstead for over 20 years. I live on Nostrand Place. Who's in charge of paving the blocks? Every summer I call to get a hole fixed up, and all we do is get patchwork. Is there any way Nostrand Place can get put on the map to get repaved, or should I get sign notices from all my people on the block and bring it back to the village? A petition or something. What will work?
Okay, I'm gonna let
I
you.
mean, I want my block to look like the parking lot over here that I'm paying for, because I am a taxpayer. Now, as far as sanitation is concerned, I don't know who's in charge of sanitation, but obviously they're not doing their job. On Gladys Avenue, the trash is this high. It's been there since last week, and you mean to tell me nobody sees it? Not even the people that's working the sanitation truck? Who do they report to? Then when you go on Albemarle, where they have those buildings, there's one particular area, there's trash, mattresses, furniture. It's on the side of the building, and I understand it's still on the property, but when are these owners of these buildings are gonna be held accountable for maintaining their property? Do we not have like an ordinance on file that they have to follow? Because I know I need to maintain mine, so I'm sure they should have to maintain theirs. And that's basically it, and I'd like to foil some information, and I just need to know who should I give it to.
To the clerk's office for FOIL.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go with Henry Street.
Mm-hmm.
The chief is here. He made notations of that. Just like we did on Jackson Street by the charter school, that made it clear to those that would rather sit on the sidewalk and drink all day, that it's not something that we want our children going to school to see. So we address that through the police department, and the times that kids are going to school, you won't see that gathering. So you brought Henry Street to our attention, and we'll make sure that we'll address it likewise. There is rights that people have that what we might consider a nuisance, as far as hanging out or standing on the sidewalk, is not always illegal. Drinking in public is. So we have to make sure that we follow the law and even dealing with those issues, but we'll send a clear message to make sure that that's addressed. Paving the streets. We just did a resolution tonight for a bond of $7 million. We've addressed in the 2 years of this board being in office, more streets being repaved, not potholes, but repaved. You see Westbury Boulevard. The list goes on. 14 roads, major road work that we've done. We've scheduled 14 more for this year and the following year. The problem is the village has never had in place the funds to address the infrastructure. Thankfully, because of ARPA funding that we received, that helped us tremendously to be able to address, again, not just doing potholes, but repaving the entire road. We wanted to make sure that as we went out for bonding, for addressing future roads to be done, when you go out for bonding, the wise thing to do is you got to watch the market. You got to watch the interest rate, because we want to make sure that what we do doesn't become a burden on the residents. So we do wise shopping when it comes to addressing these issues of roads and infrastructure. We met with legislator Silla Bynum, right? But yeah, who through the infrastructure funding from President Biden has joined together with Hempstead. And in Hempstead, you have to remember that not only our roads are Hempstead roads, but we have state roads and county roads in the village. So those roads that are out of our control, we can't repair because it's not our roads. But what she just did through this funding through the president, we're going to see now Peninsula Boulevard. Y'all help me out. What else? Y'all was in the meeting.
Peninsula Boulevard.
Franklin. So you're going to see major work being done, but again, there wasn't a plan put in place to address the roads. We have a plan, and you'll see the roads starting to be addressed, okay? Sanitation, I'll have to speak to the sanitation supervisor about that. As long as it's on their property, that's a building department violation. So I'll also speak to the building department. And when they give us summons for debris or garbage in your yard, you have to go to court. So they give a summons, you get a court date, you come to court, you get time to correct the problem, rectify the problem, or get a fine. So sometimes when you see issues, it's not that it's not being addressed, we have to follow the court procedures.
Right.
Okay?
As a matter of fact, I took pictures of one particular location tonight,
Okay,
which is right on the curb.
thank you.
I don't know what they're waiting on. They need to call for a special pickup or something.
We'll get it to sanitation. Thank you so much.
I just want to say something. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It takes a village to fix a village. Even though we sit on this board here, you guys are the ones that's going to let us know what's going on. So don't wait till you get frustrated to come out. Come. It's always the first Tuesday of the month and the third Tuesday. I like to be able to see this place packed where people are coming and letting us know what's going on so we could start, to do everything that needs to get done for this village. And I commend you for coming out tonight. Thank you.
I just hope I don't have to come back in 2 weeks about that trash.
No, you won't. And you do have some trustees that do drive around and see things as well, but we don't see everything, so your help is appreciated.
So, I don't want to say some trustees, all of our trustees are very engaged in finding out what's happening in our community. Could I get a motion to close?
Move.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Motion to close. Can I get a motion to close?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes. Thank you. Get home safe.